today for the BBBBB, books, business, bias. All right, we're doing the laws of human nature. I like to cut a lot of the data-driven content that I give with you guys and try to come in here with something, right? Some value that, you could use. It could teach you some great lessons about life and all of that. This one here that we're going to talk about is the law of self-sabotage and changing your circumstances by changing your attitude. I used to go crazy on the motivation videos. If you know, you know, but I'll throw some things up here so you can see, right? I used to go hella crazy on the motivation, like, get out of the place that you are in because you can, because you're not stuck there, because, we see what we believe, right? Some people have to see it to believe it. Other people have to believe it and then they see it. And that's what this is about. But a part of me doing that was trying to always push people out of what they're comfortable in, all right? And come to find out that you can't, not everybody wants to be pushed out. People want to be comfortable, right? Within the last couple of months, I did a podcast and it was like, I figured out that whole ditch digging work psychology and dichotomy when it comes to why the hell did I try to move people out so bad of their own comfort zone and the comfort level when they act like they want to move out, but they were good, right? And the ditch digging psychology means that there's ditch digging work. And when I say ditch digging, don't think like you're using your hands blue collar all the time. It just means that you prefer not being the boss. It means that you prefer just getting your schedule, getting trained on what to do and doing your work and going to work every day for 20, 25, 30 years and being happy with that. The family barbecue, mowing your lawn, just kind of being so predictable and letting everyone else in work life, kind of define what you were to do. And then you just move with the flow and get it done. And there's many people that are successful in ditch digging work, right? You got lawyers, you got doctors, you got nurses, you got tech, they built a framework inside where they feel happy, they're successful, and they understand it. If you pull them outside of that and say, go be an entrepreneur, go be your own boss, they will they will lose their minds, because at the end of the day, they are most optimal in life for their life doing ditch digging work and just having someone else kind of tailor what their day looks like, how they're supposed to do it. They go to school, they get the degree, and they go get a job, and that's fine. Part of me being a problem back in the day, me trying to scream at people, motivation, get the hell up out of there. No, we need ditch diggers. We need it. All right, here comes the real problem. The real problem is when someone that's creative, that has this entrepreneurial spirit or genes already or bones, because I feel like, entrepreneurs, and that word is loose, very loose. But there's people that always seem to have a problem with leadership, or they have a problem with following the rules. They have a problem with, they get bored easy if there's no challenges, there's no achievements that they feel like they're getting on a personal, deeper level, right? Though, these are the creative entrepreneurial types. And if you put these types in ditch digging work, okay, they will almost become rebels. These types, right? They always have a million ideas, how we could get things done better. They're more like, hey, trying to break the system to see how they could fix it back. They think outside of the box. They don't follow conventional rules or wisdom. All right. They want to do more all the time. And they are, natural leaders and natural thinkers and critical thinkers, right? And these folks, they thrive in their own business. They thrive in building something and creating something. These folks, if they stay in ditch digging work for a majority of their life without actually taking that step, they will become resentful. They will become so resentful and unhappy no matter what. These are the people that live with regret for a long period of life because they never wrote that book. They never started the business. They failed, and they maybe went back to ditch digging work, and they just never, and they will always have that resentment at the end. So the faster that person could identify who they are and move out of ditch digging work and go create and go build, the happier they are. Okay, even in the building phase, they're super happy, right? Then you got the people that creatively, they're entrepreneurs, there's business folks, they are business heads, okay? They got it, right? They're in ditch digging work, but they actually leave and go out to start their own. They're the happiest because they've become self-aware so early. They're the happiest on their life's journey. So believe it or see it or believe it. I just wanted to quickly talk about that because I realized that when I started my cargo van business, when I was in all of these employers, I straight up was in a lot of different jobs and unhappy. Like, I started off super excited because it's new. I could find challenges. I could define who I am. I could build the leadership skills. I could, but there's always a guideline that you really can't cross in that field. So it's like I was unhappy. And the quickest I knew that is quickest I knew I had to create something. So I started a cargo van business, but why wasn't that business? I went to Montana and didn't get freight for like 3-4 days. So the business was done with that. But excuse me, but B, it's because I didn't have to think. Okay. Here's the address. You go pick up the load and then you deliver it here. You just drive. You don't have to think. I will not survive in something like that. I need to be challenged. I need to create. I need to build things. So it's like, that's a business where you're actually working in a field, even though it's quote unquote, you're a 1099 or you have your own truck or your own, whatever. You're still not using your creative juices that make you who you are, right? So I'm gonna it's 2:02 here. Just talk about a little bit about what Robert Greene said. All right, each of us has a particular way of looking at the world, of interpreting events and the actions of people around us. This is our attitude, and it determines much of what happens to us in life. If our attitude is essentially fearful, we see the negative in every circumstance. We stop ourselves from taking chances. We blame others for mistakes and fail to learn from them. If we feel hostile or suspicious, we make others feel such emotions in our presence. We sabotage our career and relationships by unconsciously creating the circumstances we fear the most. The human attitude, however, is malleable. By making our attitude more positive, open, and tolerant of other people, we can spark a different dynamic. We can learn from adversity, create opportunities out of nothing, and draw people to us. We must explore the limits of our willpower and how far it could take us. And the ultimate freedom, he writes about Anton Chekhov, the future celebrated writer. So that right there is 100% true, guys. Attitude definitely creates what you see in your entire own space. The first thing to overcome in anything like motivation and starting your own business, or getting that dream job, or even moving to a different location that you're unfamiliar with, or getting into investing or whatever, the attitude surrounding it. You could say, oh, I don't know anything about that. Oh, I'm going to fail. Oh, I know 3 people that tried it and failed, or this and that. And that's what really happens, because you draw to you what you believe. So I want you guys to focus on who you are, what's stopping you from getting to anywhere you want to go to and doing anything you want to do. And there's a thing called imposter syndrome that you really should look up and make sure that you're not falling into it, because everyone here on planet Earth, and know this, everyone here on planet Earth that's still alive don't know shit. Nobody didn't know. We don't know shit. Okay, you could act like this is the right way to do things. This is the right thing to do. This is that we have no idea, and you can't go back to the past. So we don't know shit. All right, peace.